And I'm going to start by asking you a question. Now, I guarantee you've probably never been asked this question before, and yet it's going to be one of the most important questions anybody will ever ask you. Are you already dead? Now, most people equate death with the day that you die. Now, the way I see it, death is the day that you stop living. And you stop living the day that you decide to settle. You settle for a level of health and fitness far from where you want to be. You settle for a relationship that's totally void of intimacy and passion. You settle for a lack of connection with your friends and your family. And you settle for the anxiety, stress, and unhappiness you feel daily. And you settle for a career that's just a means to pay the bills. So I'll ask you again, are you already dead? If you're honest with me and with yourself, the answer is probably yes. But here's a question I'm going to have you consider. Do you want to start living again? Now I'm going to let one of my clients, Lisa, share her story with you. Then I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do to bring yourself back from the dead and start living again. I'm willing to bet that, like Lisa, you've spent most of your life climbing a mountain only to get to the top and realize a very painful truth. You're on the wrong mountain. What you thought would make you happy just doesn't. But I'll let Lisa share it in her own words and her own voice, so you can see that even if you are on the wrong mountain, you don't have to spend the rest of your life there.
When I was young, I had a dream to build a happy life. I saw my parents, my sisters, my friends, and they all took the same path up the mountain. Found a partner, married young, had kids, went to university, got a degree, landed a secure job, saved money, moved out, bought a house. It seemed logical to me. Okay, so if I just follow A, B, C, I will be happy. And really, no one told me I had to do it. It was my choice. But it was really the only path I could see. And so I put my head down and grinded it out. I did everything I was supposed to do. I took each step up the mountain, so fucking focused on getting to the top. If I could just get to the top, I'd have it all. I could be so fucking happy. Almost there, just keep going. The moment I got to the top of the mountain, I lifted my head to look around. It was dark, cloudy, barren, lifeless. It was nothing like what I had imagined. This is what I spent my entire life working towards? How could this be? This isn't what I want. At first, I try to dress it up and pretend like I love it at the top of this mountain. But I can't. I'm unhappy. And yet everyone who is at the top of the mountain with me loves the view. It's like they somehow can't see the same things that I see. And maybe they can't. I start to look around, really look around. And off in the distance I see another mountain. It is lush and alive and more beautiful than anything I have ever seen. I start to dream about what it would be like to live on that mountain. And it only serves to make the ground that I'm standing on seem even more ugly. I think about escaping, running down the mountain I'm standing on, leaping off the edge, but every possible out is terrifying to me. No, I should just make this work, somehow make myself be happy with where I am and what I can see. I should just stop looking at that other mountain. It's probably not as nice as it seems anyways. But it doesn't work. I'm not happy. I look up longingly at the other mountain. I look beside me and I see smiling faces. I break down. I cry. I'm paralyzed. Fear, sadness, brokenness. But then it hits me. I love myself. I fucking love myself. I have a choice. I ask myself, what is more terrifying? Living a life of certain unhappiness, or taking a risk with even the slightest hope of all-encompassing, deep, uninhibited, true, authentic happiness and love? I walk over to the mountain's edge, a cliff that looks out onto a sea of darkness. I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. My legs are shaking. My heart is racing. I lift my foot. I hesitate for a moment. But then I take one brave step out into the void, and I do not fall. I look down, shocked that I have not fallen. There's a bridge. How did I not see this before? I take another step, and another, and another, until I reach the other mountain. I am home.
Perhaps you're standing on top of your own mountain right now, looking around and wondering to yourself, is this all there is? Is this as good as it gets? Maybe physically you're looking in the mirror and not liking the view. Perhaps your relationship is totally void of passion and excitement. Maybe you're totally disconnected from your family and your friends. Emotionally, you're exhausted from masking your true feelings, which are the dissatisfaction, the stress, the anxiety, the depression. You put on a fake smile to mask it all so that the world doesn't know, because you just can't stand the thought of facing it all. Or maybe it's the career that you thought was what you wanted, but is now just a means to making enough money to pay the bills, as opposed to a means of self-expression and fulfillment. Now, when was the last time you stood where you are on the mountain and took an honest look around to see if this is what you want? When was the last time you checked your pulse to see if you're actually still alive or if you're one of the walking dead? Now, right now, I'm going to walk you through a simple 3-step process. This is the same process that Lisa went through to start living again. This is the same process I walk all the women I coach through, so that they can start living again as well. But warning, don't get me wrong here. While these 3 steps are simple, simple does not mean easy. This will be anything but easy. In fact, it's going to be hard as hell. But just like any good workout, the further you can dive into the pain and pull yourself through it, the more rewarding it's going to be and the stronger you will be when it's done. Because whether you realize it or not, pain and pleasure are 2 sides of the same coin, and you can't have one without the other. Now, step number 1 is to expose yourself. Already sounds unappealing, doesn't it? Now, when I told that to Lisa, I could tell by the way she furrowed her brow that she was questioning what the hell I meant by expose yourself. So I put it to her this way. When you look into an actual physical mirror with no clothes on, you see everything. Every roll, every wrinkle, every muscle, every birthmark. Your entire physical body is totally exposed. Unless you close your eyes, there's no hiding from the truth. Then I asked Lisa the same thing I'm going to ask you right now. When did you last stand naked in front of the relationship mirror? When did you last stand naked in front of the emotional mirror? And when did you last stand naked in front of the professional mirror? Again, Lisa wanted to know what the hell I was talking about. So I explained the following to her that she'd never considered before. When your body and your level of fitness start to go south, you know it right away because you can see it plain as day. And everyone around you can see it too. But when it comes to pretty much every other area of your life, you can hide the truth pretty easily, can't you? Lisa had 2 young kids and had been married for 13 years. Both her and her husband had good jobs, a nice house, and everything seemed just perfect to an outsider looking in. Yet she was totally unhappy and unfulfilled in her marriage. Totally stressed from work, raising the kids, trying to eat right, trying to get to the gym as often as she wanted to, and trying to find even just a few minutes for herself. But none of that stress was on display for the entire world to see. She could easily mask it with a fake smile and none would be the wiser. So I told Lisa the same thing I'm going to tell you right now. When it comes to your physical health, there's just no masking it. So you're much more likely to take the necessary steps to improve it. But when it comes to the dissatisfaction in your relationship, the overwhelming sense of being lost emotionally, and the lack of fulfillment in your career, not only are those things easy to hide from the rest of the world, they're easy to hide from yourself. And since it's much less painful in the short term to bury the truth, that's exactly what you do when you refuse to look in those mirrors. You've heard it countless times before, and I'll repeat it here. Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Well, that's bullshit. Just knowing something isn't good enough. What you need to do is take action, which is not only the most important step, it's also the most neglected step. So right now you're going to expose yourself to yourself with 2 simple questions. Question number 1, what are the facts? And question number 2, how do you feel about the facts? Now it's imperative that we become aware of both, and it's imperative that we isolate them so we can manage them. So let's start with the facts. If you haven't done so already, I highly encourage you to grab a journal and a pen and answer the questions right now as we go through this together. So go ahead right now and grab your journal and your pen, pause this video and come right back. Or watch this video, resonate with what I'm saying and sharing with you, and then do what most people who complain about their lives do, which is nothing. In which case you might as well just stop watching the video altogether. But if you got your journal, let's start exposing the facts. Here's what I want you to do first. Write this next page down exactly as you see it. Now I'm going to ask you 20 questions. All of the questions are going to be simple yes or no questions. No maybes, no gray area, just the cold, hard yes or no facts. Each yes is going to be worth 5 points. Each no is going to be worth -5 points. Now beside each number, you're going to write either +5 for yes or -5 for no. Are you ready? No? Not really? Well, that's perfect. So first things first, what are the facts when it comes to your physical health? Do you exercise 3 to 5 times a week for 20 minutes or more? Yes or no? Do you eat fried and or processed foods less than 3 times a week? Yes or no? Do you feel rested and energized throughout the day? Yes or no? Are you able to run, walk, lift, and be active free of pain? Yes or no? And are you proud of the body you see in the mirror? Yes or no? If at any point in time I'm going too fast, just pause the video and keep going after that. So now we're going to take a look at the facts when it comes to your relationships. Do you have sex at least once a week with your partner? Yes or no? No partner? Do you have sex with yourself at least once a week? Yes or no? Sexual pleasure and sexual desire is there whether you're with a partner or not, and it needs to be satisfied. Now, do you have a date night every week with your partner? Yes or no? Again, no partner? Then do you have a date night every week with yourself? Yes or no? Now, do you feel connected with your partner? Yes or no? Again, no partner? Do you feel connected with yourself? Yes or no? Not everybody wants a partner. Not everybody needs a partner. Sometimes yourself is enough, so answer these questions that way. Now, do you have deep, meaningful friendships? Yes or no? And do you feel connected with your family? Yes or no? Now we're going to take a look inside the facts of your emotional well-being. Now, do you reveal your true self to the world? Yes or no? Do you take time to feel your negative emotions? Yes or no? Do you accept compliments from others easily? Yes or no? Do you think you are worthy of being loved? Honestly? Yes or no? Now, do you manage stress and anxiety in a healthy manner? Yes or no? Not alcohol, not sex, not Netflix, but in a healthy manner. Now, finally, what are the facts when it comes to your professional fulfillment? Do you love what you do? Yes or no? Does your job give you a sense of purpose? Yes or no? Would you be involved in your field without being paid? Yes or no? Does your work positively impact the lives of others? Yes or no? Now, does your work cause you to grow as a person? Yes or no? So how'd you do on exposing the facts? Well, we're going to find out right now. Now, even though you didn't realize it at the time, you just got introduced to my core coaching concept, which I refer to as the PrEP work, which is just an acronym for physical health, relationships, emotional well-being, and professional fulfillment. Now, before we move on to your feelings about the facts, let's see how you add it up. Now, you'll notice that each category of the PrEP work had 5 questions, which means you could score a maximum of +25 in any category, or a max of -25 on the other end of the scale. So go back now and add your totals in each area, and then add them all together for your total score. Pause the video and do this now, and then come back and fill out the next part. So for the PrEP work, what was your total score? And what does that total score even mean? Well, essentially, it's an indicator of how dead you are or how alive you are. On the side approaching 100, it's an indicator that you are true to yourself and others, that you own who you are, express who you are, and love who you are, that you value yourself, you value others, and you value life. Now, on the lower or negative side of the spectrum, it's indicative of your desire to please others in spite of yourself. You'd rather avoid pain at all costs than deal with it. You don't believe you can live the life that you want, and you've perhaps even forgotten about what truly makes you happy. But now that we've uncovered the facts, let's get to your feelings. And this won't take long at all because I only have one question for you. How do you feel about your number? Write down 5 words that describe how you feel. Be brutally honest about your feelings. Don't hold anything back here. Just being honest about the facts is not enough though. You need to be honest about how you feel about the facts as well. So pause this video right now and write down your 5 words. Now, when Lisa did this exercise, these are the words that she came up with. Pissed, ashamed, fucking furious, nervous, scared. Perhaps yours are similar. If so, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Lisa. Your past does not equal your future unless you live there. So let's take those facts and feelings and use them as ammunition. Ammunition to take your second chance at life and make the most of it. Now, step 2 is to embrace yourself. Now, if you're anything like Lisa, most of the women I coach, you're beating yourself up mentally and emotionally about your score. Now, when you're done doing that, which doesn't have to be right now, you're going to do the same thing you do for someone you love. You're going to show yourself compassion. You're going to show yourself empathy. You're going to show yourself understanding, patience, and most importantly, acceptance. But how? How do you accept where you are and get past judging yourself? How do you move on through the pain that comes with knowing the truth? This is how. Here's what I want you to do first. I want you to write the following sentence down. These are all the people I know who have never made a mistake in their entire lives. Now I want you to make a list of those people. Are you done yet? You should be, because your list won't have any names on it. I had you consider this because I want you to know something. You are not alone. But just accepting that you make mistakes isn't enough. How do you move beyond them and truly embrace yourself? By first getting to know yourself. The highest and most amazing version of yourself. The one that's been hiding and is dying to come out and play. The one that is the truth of who you are that you no longer want to deny. Now, this one's going to take some time, so you can do it in its entirety later. For now, you're just going to complete 4 sentences. But before you do that, I want you to close your eyes and think of your ideal life right now. And I want you to envision how fit and healthy you are, what you're able to do, what you're capable of, how proud you are of your physical condition. I want you to envision your perfect romantic relationship with the perfect partner or partners, doing everything you love and creating amazing memories together. I want you to envision the deepest connection with your friends and your family, laughing together, creating more amazing memories together, sharing pain and pleasure together, and growing together. I want you to envision feeling confident in living your truth, living the life that you want on your terms, under your conditions, and with your rules, not what anybody else expects of you, but being yourself. I want you to envision yourself doing the most fulfilling work that makes you happy, that is fulfilling to you, that's rewarding to you and others, that makes you go home at the end of the night and know that you're living on purpose. I want you to envision yourself living as your most authentic self. Now, are you ready? Good, because let's do this. Finish these sentences, keeping in mind the empowering circumstances you just envisioned. Sentence number 1 has to do with your physical health. I am so happy now that. Pause this video each time and write out 1 sentence. Don't just listen to me here and go through this video and do nothing, because then you will get nothing out of this. Like everything in life, you only get out what you put in. So pause the video and finish these sentences. Sentence number 1 in terms of your physical health. I am so happy now that. Sentence number 2 with regards to your relationships. I am so happy now that. Sentence number 3 with regards to your emotional well-being. I am so happy now that. And sentence number 4 with regards to professional fulfillment. I am so happy now that. Now, when you have some more time, you're going to write down at least 10 more for each area of the prep work. Now, let me share some of Lisa's empowering sentences with you so you have an idea what to look for. I am so happy now that. Physically, I am a green smoothie addict and enjoy them at least 5 days a week. In terms of relationships, I'm so happy now that I'm living proof that I fill my own cup. I love myself deeply, and in turn, I'm able to give love without expectation. With emotional well-being, I'm so happy now that I meditate every day and can bring awareness to moments when I am not present. And finally, inside of her professional fulfillment, Lisa just started a blog. So she wrote down, I am so happy now that I have 100 subscribers to my blog. Kind of makes you want to meet Lisa, doesn't it? But can you even begin to imagine what your life will be like when the things that you write down aren't just thoughts in your head, but experiences in your everyday reality? But again, how? How do you go from taking the vision in your head and in your heart and turn it into your reality? This is how. Step 3, empower yourself. Have you noticed a common thread between the 3 steps? Expose yourself, embrace yourself, empower yourself. It all starts with you. You don't need me or anyone else to help you live an amazing life. You are literally all you need. As corny as this may sound, everything you need is already inside you. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Once you're able to silence the hater and critic inside your own head and create the space to hear your own voice, you'll open yourself up to receiving all the truth and wisdom that you need. And here's how you're going to do it. It's actually much simpler than you can even imagine. You're going to use a simple tool I use with all the women I coach. I call it the turnaround tool, or T3 for short. But before we get to that though, let me ask you this. Where does wisdom come from? That's right, experience. And you've had a couple of those throughout your life, no? But have you learned from them, especially the ones you label bad? Maybe, but probably not as much as you're going to now. There are 2 versions of T3, the long and the short. We'll cover the short one now. So flip to a new sheet of paper and grab your pen. Think of a recent event that happened in your life that left you feeling pissed off, anxious, stressed, upset, any negative emotion at all. Give this experience a name and write it down now. An example of Lisa's would be this: anxiety about my marriage. Now, rather than stuffing it down and not dealing with it, which is probably what you did, and that's totally cool, you're not only going to address it, but you're going to take that experience, extract the lesson, the wisdom, and use it to empower yourself. Now, once you experience how simple and powerful this is, you're going to wonder why the hell no one told you about this before. Now, question number 1, what happened? State the facts and your feelings about the experience. Question number 2, why did it happen? What or who caused the experience to happen? Question number 3, what's the positive lesson you can take from this experience? Once you get past the negative emotions and can think clearly, what's the piece of wisdom that's waiting there for you? And question number 4, how can you apply this wisdom in the next 48 hours? Once again, knowledge is power, right? Once again, bullshit. Knowledge is useless until it is applied. So here's the T3 in short. What, why, lesson, apply. You probably don't realize how powerful this is yet, but you will after you take a few minutes to complete it, which you can do now or when you're done watching this. So let's take a look at Lisa's example. T3, anxiety about my marriage. What happened? The facts. I had a very difficult conversation with my husband. What happened in terms of feelings? And he made me feel like shit for sharing my feelings with him. And I'm pissed that he's being so selfish and inconsiderate. Now, why did it happen? I expressed that I'm not happy with how our marriage has been. I came into the conversation already on the defensive. I didn't take responsibility for the way I felt. I didn't take time to consider how to share my truth with compassion. And I didn't prepare myself enough for how he would react. And what's the lesson she got out of it? It's more important how a message is sent than how it is received. I could have been more understanding to his reactions. I could have accepted that he had the right to react the way he did. I could have prepared better for the conversation. And apply. What is she going to do in the next 48 hours? She said she's going to have another conversation with her husband and let him know that I accept 100% responsibility for how I feel. And that I'm being honest with him because I love him and respect him. And that I'm being honest with him because I love and respect myself. I will accept any feelings he has about the situation we're in. Now, how do you think Lisa's next conversation is going to go? A hell of a lot better than the first one, no doubt. All because she took 10 minutes to use T3 instead of doing nothing. Now consider this for a moment. Will working out every once in a while make you fit? Of course not. Now, will working out consistently week in and week out do the trick? As long as you're doing the right things, absolutely. T3 is no different. Use it once and you'll feel good for a day or two. Use it consistently week in and week out and we're talking transformation. But that takes us back to the same question that keeps popping up. How? Now, I know this can all seem daunting in the big picture. Exposing yourself, embracing yourself, empowering yourself, and taking your second chance at life. So how are you actually going to make this happen? Just as there are 3 steps, there are 3 resources that you need to do it. Resource number 1 is you need a coach. I cannot tell you how many times I've bumped into old clients and had the exact same conversation. The majority of them, having lost all the results we worked so hard for, give me the list of excuses as to why things went south. Work, the kids, stress, you name it, I've heard it. But turns out those things were all there when we were training together too. So what's really changed between now and then? Accountability and support. Without those 2 things, the 3 steps I just outlined are useless. Think about any challenge you've ever taken on. Even if it's just getting to the gym or going for a run. If you have someone else counting on you to show up and do the work, how much more likely are you to actually show up and do the work? But a coach isn't going to be enough. Number 2, you need an empowering group. In the spring of 2018, I launched a program called SGT, which stands for Strong Group Training, where 6 to 8 women would get together to work out and focus on one thing: badass strength. And what was amazing is that they all realized the same thing. As one of the participants said, "Thanks for another amazing class, Carl. I'm starting to find out that it's not your class that amazes me each time, but how much I'm actually capable of." But here's the thing. As a fitness coach, I can tell you what you're capable of, and you might believe me and might have a little confidence that I'm right. But once you get around other women who show you they can do it, all of a sudden you begin to think, hey, maybe I can do it too. If the Strong Group training sessions have taught me anything, it's this. If you want to be inspired, you need to get around women who inspire you. It's that simple. Resource number 3 is the 90-day self-centered challenge. That's 90 days of intense training and coaching that are designed to help you do the one thing that you cannot seem to do on your own. And that is the only thing that will take you from being one of the walking dead to a woman living your life, your way, on purpose and with purpose. The one thing that is the single biggest challenge you will ever face in your entire life, and that is putting yourself first. Now, over the course of the 90 days, you will discover how to build your fitness to a level you never thought possible and do things that you never thought possible. You'll be cultivating truly meaningful relationships that are filled with passion and deep connection no matter what status they take. You'll learn how to reduce stress in as little as 5 seconds, and I mean literally 5 seconds, and start feeling truly happy again. And you'll discover how to find your passion life and actually start taking steps towards fulfilling it and living it. But the most important thing that you're going to discover, the same way every woman who has taken the challenge has, is that learning how to put yourself first will be the best thing that you can do for the people you love as well. Or as another participant put it, this week after a coaching session, I just feel so good about myself. It's crazy how people benefit around me when I'm loving myself. So let's get to the question that I know is on your mind. How much do you have to invest to take the 90-day self-empowerment challenge? Well, if you scored close to 0 or in the negative with your prep work, or your score is just not as high as you want it to be and know it can be, and you feel like, you know what, enough is enough already, pay very close attention. Here are the details of the 90-day self-empowerment challenge. For 90 consecutive days, you're going to receive 3 online lessons every week. These lessons will present you with new perspectives, and with new perspectives come new possibilities. But any new perspective is useless unless you do what matters most, and that's take action, which is why each lesson is accompanied with implementation. Now, from my experience with hundreds of clients, there's only one key ingredient that if you don't have it, will keep you living amongst the walking dead: accountability. Not motivation, not willpower, not knowledge, but accountability, so that you turn saying into doing every single day. Which is why the moment you accept the challenge, you'll instantly be added to the Naked Trainer chat group. And after every lesson, you're going to head into the group and share a 1-sentence takeaway with the rest of the group. Now, if you're not a fan of social media, don't worry about it. This is perfect for you because you'll simply be texting. Now, my experience has taught me that those who participate stick with it, and those who don't end up right back where they started. Now, in addition to connecting after each lesson, you'll also be invited to join the Naked Trainer's weekly SGC session, which stands for Strong Group Coaching. Now, rather than have you waste hours on social media trying to sift through all the amazing accomplishments of our group, I take the highlights from the week and do a 45-minute recorded training so that you can not only learn from and share in the success of others, but just as importantly, get to share in the pain and the lessons attached to that pain. Because pain shared is pain divided, and success shared is success multiplied. So inside of the 90-day self-empowerment challenge, you're going to be receiving 40 online coaching lessons, 12 45-minute strong group coaching sessions, and of course, weekly support inside the chat group. Now, over the course of 90 days, I will be investing 100+ hours into your coaching and training. Now, at my hourly rate of $125, that would be an investment of more than $12,000. Now, while you're definitely worth investing that much money into yourself, I'm not stupid, and I know that's a little steep for most of us. So the 90-day self-empowerment challenge is only going to be $497. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that no matter what I say, and no matter how much I share what others have said, there's really only one way to know whether or not this is for you, and that's to experience it for yourself. So why not just give it a try for 30 days and see how you feel 100% risk-free? All you have to do is complete the lessons every single week for 30 days, post your takeaway inside the group chat after each lesson, and watch the strong group coaching sessions. If at the end of the 30 days you feel like it's just not for you, and you've done those 3 things, I'll refund 100% of your investment, no questions asked. Now, if you don't do the work and try to blame it on me, sorry, no deal here. But what would you say if I told you that if you complete the challenge, that you could receive another 90 days of coaching absolutely free? Now, introducing the completion challenge. The member who completes the highest number of assignments and submits the highest number of takeaways after each lesson will receive 90 days of follow-up coaching absolutely free. But I have to warn you, the 90-day challenge will not be easy. It'll be simple, but it won't be easy. But before you decide if you want to accept the challenge, I do have some bad news. I need to limit the number of women who can participate at any one time. So the 90-day challenge will be limited to 20 participants. Obviously, with so few women able to participate per challenge, it means that if you're serious, you cannot afford to hesitate. The time to start putting yourself first and accept the challenge is now. So I guess the only question left is this. Do you want a second chance at life? Are you, the life you want, and the people you love worth the investment? If you look at this as an investment in anything other than yourself, your life, and the people you love, you've already failed. You are and always will be your number one investment. It's time you start to put yourself first. So if you're ready for this, here's what you need to do right now. Click the button on this page, complete the sign-up process, and check your email for details on what you need to know for the challenge. Now, if you've gotten this far, congratulations. Most women are gonna miss out on this, which truly hurts my heart, because I know what's gonna happen by passing this up. You see, at the end of your life, you'll be saying one of 2 things about the decisions that you made. I wish I had, or I'm glad I did. Now, do you wanna know what people regret most when they're on their deathbeds? These are the top 5 regrets of the dying. Number 1, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not what others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. 4, I wish I'd had stayed in touch with my friends. And number 5, I wish that I'd let myself be happier. Now, if you want to avoid looking back and regret, you know what to do. Click the button on this page, complete the sign-up process, and check your email for details on what you need to know for the challenge. Mel Robbins, author of the 5-second rule, put it best when she said this. You are only one decision away from a completely different life. This could be that decision. The decision to give yourself a second chance. A second chance at life, which too many people will never get. Now, I sincerely hope from the center of my heart that you hear this calling. Now, whether we get to work closely together or not, I hope that you get the support you need to discover the truth. And that truth is that when it comes to putting yourself first, you are worth it. We got this.